Hey guys, Sandy here, and I still have out my For the Love of Homemade kits, and that's just because I cut all these frames out and I watercolored these cut apart florals, but I didn't end up using them on my page. I went a different direction, and I really want to use them. So I grabbed this photo of myself and my husband. Where were we? Monterey Bay. So here's the photo, here's the stuff I definitely have to use on this layout. Let's see what I can do. Now we get to the layout with the flowers. So I had actually used these Winsor & Newton watercolors on a previous layout titled Off We Go. I posted that one on Saturday. Ultimately, though, I did not like what was going on with that layout, so I decided to go ahead and use the florals and also the picture frames that I fussy cut out on a completely different page. Now these came from my Love from Lizzie card kit 1 month. Again, I do not use Love from Lizzie card kits to make cards. I use them to scrapbook layouts. But I thought that the watercolors here were a perfect fit for the colors I have going on and also for the recipe for the homemade kit. So I do put a couple of layers of color on them. These rose punch outs have kind of like a glossy finish to them. So the watercolor kind of pools on the top of it and it doesn't make it very dark. So like I said, I do go ahead and add a bunch more layers on top just to go ahead and get it to a good place of color. Like I want some decent color on here. I don't want it to be super pastel. My original thought was I wanted them to have a deep dark color because I was going to be placing them on top of the picture frames in my layout, and I felt like I was having some bold things go on in that layout. I was using embellishment mousse and things like that. Ultimately, though, that doesn't happen, you guys. But I do enjoy this layout. I do enjoy this process. These little watercolors that are on a watercolor sheet like this, they're a lot of fun. Like, you know, I have some tube watercolors, I have some liquid watercolors, I have some pan watercolors, and not that I am a watercoloring expert by any means, but these little guys right here, super fun. Super, super fun. So I don't make you watch me paint all the mini layers. I am just using a water brush, and I did clean off the brush between the purple colors and also the green colors because I didn't want to make mud. I also really didn't want purple in my leaves. I wanted my leaves to be green. So what I do with this is I have the lighter green and I just go ahead and place that on top of the leaves. And then I go in with the darker green and I'm just adding it sporadically, kind of randomly over the leaves because I want the leaves not to feel so one note-ish. I want them to have a little bit of depth. For some reason, that was super important to me that the leaves felt that way. I mean, who knows why, what was running through my head at the time, but I thought it was super important to have it. So eventually, I will do that. I keep putzing around with the leaves. I'm trying to get the color on because like I said, it has a little bit of a glossiness to it. So the color doesn't really want to stick like it would stick on a normal piece of paper or a watercolor piece of paper. So I just add in that second layer of green. And I don't know how much like dimension and depth it gives, but at the time I'm thinking, yeah, this is beautiful. This is gorgeous. So I just go with it. Clean off my brush a little bit, and then I'm going to get to the layout. So this is a photo of my husband and myself, and we were at Monterey Bay, and we snapped this selfie. So there it is. I love this man so much. That's all I got to say about that. Okay, so we are actually at the beach. You can't really see it in the background, but we are, I promise. So I have this green sheet of paper from my homemade kit, and then I'm just going to make a border of frames. And I've got a couple different colors going on. I have like the white frames, there's kind of a minty green, there's also a little bit of a blue color. So I'm just trying to make sure that none of the similar ones are the exact same. Like I'm trying to give them a little bit of difference, and I decide that I definitely want the love to be seen. So I put that one up at the top, and then I've got to move around the green one because I didn't want to have two green ones next to each other. And now I'm just kind of like messing around with the placement. So they aren't going to be completely straight. Like the lines aren't going to match up completely. And I'm cool with that. Like I'm definitely okay with that. So I'm going to put my photo here, and now I'm just going to figure out where I want my watercolored roses to go. And I'm trying to figure out what placement I like, and that takes a few minutes to do. I had made this layout immediately after making the last layout, and I think I was still feeling that I can't believe I screwed these roses up for the other layout. They're not working, and I still think I kind of had that in my brain. Even though I was like, I'm pushing through and creating this layout, I still had that leftover little bit of, oh, I screwed this up. I gotta make something great with this. Did I ruin these flowers? Like I should have left them white. Like all these things are running through my brain. And sometimes you just have to tell yourself to shut up and just scrapbook. So that's what I did. I told myself to shut up, get over it. Actually, I think I thought to myself, suck it up, cupcake, and get going. So that did happen. I am using these little acetate pieces, and they are also from the Altenew. Woo! Who knew Altenew was going to make me sneeze? They are also from the little Altenew embellishment thing, like it had punch outs and this acetate on it. I have these October Afternoon labels that have been sitting in my stash, obviously for a long time, because October Afternoon's been out of business for a little while. This is the second sheet of these labels I've had though, so they haven't been sitting there. Well, I mean, okay, maybe they have been sitting there long enough. It's just what it is. If this congestion and stuff would just leave me once and for all, life would be so much better. Okay, so I'm making sure that I am layering up the flowers. I'm also layering up these little acetate pieces. And I like the flowers over top the frames. Like, it's not exactly what I had envisioned at the onset of scrapbooking the flowers with the frames, but I like the way it's going right now. And that is really what matters. I also really like green and purple together. So I like this better than what I had going on with the blue background on the other layout for sure. So I am using my ATG, which I don't know why I'm using my ATG. Basically, these little punch-out flowers kind of remind me of tiny little cut files. So I don't know why the heck I'm not using my liquid adhesive, but I'm not. So I'm like, the love is definitely going to go up here. I am going to use my Xyron X Runner, and that's just so the adhesive is completely across the backside of the acetate piece, and you're not really going to see any adhesive there because of it. So it just looks like it's stuck there nicely. Oh, look, now I'm bringing in the liquid adhesive. Goodness. Okay, so we have that going down. I tried to bring in a second label, but I don't like the size of that one, so I go ahead and bring in a third label once I found the size I liked. I don't know what the heck I'm doing. I'm futzing around, trying to figure out if I'm going to put another label on. You've already got 3. You don't need more than 3. Put that back. Okay. So now that I've got those labels on, now I'm feeling like something is missing here on the bottom. There needs to be something a little bit more. Now, I really love this little punch out. It has like this gray stripe and a purplish heart, but I do cut out the little piece that makes it a speech bubble or a thought bubble. because it's not going over top of our heads, it's down underneath of us. So I really don't think that that needs to be a speech bubble. But I do like it. I think it coordinates great, so I'm happy with it. But I am still thinking that something needs to happen down here on the bottom of the page. But instead of actually working on the bottom of the page where I know I need something, what do? I keep messing around with the top part. I don't know. I don't know if I'm putting it off. Like, what am I thinking? Who knows? So I think about bringing in some leaves, but I don't like it. And now I'm looking at it and I'm like, what do I need here? I need something. Come on, Sandy, figure it out. So I'm like, oh, maybe I just need some paper. You know, I like paper. So I'm going to go ahead and trim off a little paper. I'm basically giving my photo a shelf, something to sit on, because it's kind of just hanging off the border right now. It's just kind of hanging off the photo squares, and it feels very lopsided to me. Now I go ahead and make a little banner out of one of the sides, and then I'm going to tuck that paper back underneath of my photo. Stick it under there, Sandy. There we go. I don't know what I'm doing sometimes. I'm watching myself and I'm like, what the heck are you doing, girl? Like, come on, get it together. So we go ahead and get that down there. And then I'm just trying to figure out, like, okay, my title's going to go here. I got to figure out what I'm going to say. And I'm looking at these Freckled Fawn foam letter stickers. I have had these forever. I mean, forever. So it's just a matter of figuring out what the heck I'm doing with them. I do have to kind of Frankenstein up a letter. I've run out of O's, so I take the Q and kind of like hack off the line of the Q, and then I write love him, because I really do. Like, the man is a saint. He puts up with me. So yeah, the man is a saint. And then I figure I need some sort of tile letter sticker to go over top of this little heart piece. So I grab these black and white ones that are from my stash. And I use an ampersand, and then I write out, and I so love him, because I so do. Now I'm wondering if I'm looking at this and wondering if that is enough black on the layout. So I have it like these tile stickers. I also have the acetate pieces, but I felt like I needed a little bit more. So instead of outlining the entire layout, I just outline the little banner here. Now I might go back and outline the rest of the layout, because I'm still thinking it feels a little bit naked, and I don't know if I'm going to outline it or if I'm just going to add it to like a piece of black cardstock. Or maybe I'll just leave it the way it is and not even worry about it, because it's a finished layout in the pile. Probably going to leave it. All right, am I done? No, I'm not done. I'm going to do something to it. I'm not exactly sure what. Ooh, we're going to add a little bit of texture. I mean, it is feeling very flat. I pull out these wooden enamel dots. I honestly have no idea where I got them, but I'm going to sprinkle them about the page, just making sure that I have varying sizes, and I'm kind of grouping them together, but I'm also making sure that they're going up the entire bit of this border, because honestly, all of the embellishment is over here on the left-hand side, so I just want to make sure that that is where your eye stays. Like, you're not going to start looking around the page for more stuff. You just know that, like, this is where the embellishment is, and then the rest is nice white space for your eyes to not worry about. So there it is, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you again real soon for another video.